Hi, greetings. This is the one and only maths favorite teacher. So basically, on this session, we'll be dealing with products under algebra, right? So this session, let's say they give you a plus or minus b, close bracket, open bracket, as well as c plus or minus d. So this is what we mean when we speak about products. So product simply means to say will be basically multiplying. So this is what we mean when you talk about products, right? So what do you mean? And one thing that you need to understand is that if I were to say, let's make or do example number one. So for you to master product under factorization, if you're dealing with example number one, let's say actually they give you what? They give you a plus x, open bracket, a plus x, close bracket, open bracket, as well as c plus y. So one thing that you need to understand here, we're going to use what? Apply FOIL method. So FOIL method says that you multiply the first two terms, a times c, we all know that we're gonna get what? We're gonna get ac, right? And then you multiply a times positive y, that will be what? Positive ay. So that will be positive ay, you write positive ay. Then you multiply x times c, that will be plus xc. Lastly, positive times positive, we know that that is gonna be positive. Then you say x times y, that is gonna be what? xy. So one thing that you need to understand is that AC plus AY plus XC plus XY. That is what we mean when we speak about products, because product is only has to do with you multiplying what? You multiplying the expression that you're given. And then in an instance whereby they give you a minus m, close bracket, open bracket, and then let's say they give you c minus r. So you're still going to use c minus r. So you're still going to use the product, right? Of which one thing that you need to understand here, it's a matter of us using FOIL method, whereby we multiply a times c. A times c, that is going to be ac. And then we're going to multiply a times minus r, that's minus ar. And then negative m times c, that's negative mc. As easy as that. And then continuing onwards, you multiply negative times negative. We all know that that is going to be what? That is going to be positive. Then you say m times r, that is going to be what? That is going to be mr, right? So that is going to be mr. Let me just write it properly. Be mr. And then here, when you continue, it means to say you are having that as your final answer. So if I were to do the third one, let's say this one, will just save it as example number 3. So they're saying a plus b. So for you not to get confused, make sure that you use FOIL method in x plus y. X plus y. So you're still gonna use FOIL method. So you say a times x, gonna get what? Gonna get ax, right? And then you continue, you say a times positive y, that's positive ay. And then you continue great tens and say b, positive b times x, that's positive bx. And then lastly, you say positive b times positive y, that is gonna be what? Positive by. So that is gonna be your final answer if you're multiplying the expression. Then if we were to do number 4, m plus s, this is grade 10 work, but it's kind of like grade 8, grade 9, as well as grade 10 work, because they're more familiar to each other. So if you're having x plus y, let's just write it, right, as well as what? C plus d. So you always use the FOIL method. So we're gonna say x times d, x times c, that is gonna be xc. Then x times positive d, that's positive dx. Right, and then positive y times c, that's positive cy. Then positive times positive, that's positive. Then y times d, that is dy. That's one thing that you're gonna get. So if you're gonna deal with this, let's do the last one under this. Let's just take it as if it's number 5. Then that's saying a minus p as well as what? C minus q. So also here we're gonna use that concept a times c. We all know that greater than that will be ac, right? AC. And then a times negative q, that's negative aq. Then negative p times c, that's negative pc. And then negative times negative is positive. Then p times q, that is pq. So this one, that's how basically you'll get this. And then if I were to show you rules of, these are rules of signs, right? You must know this, because if you know this, then you're on the safe side. So these are rules of signs. So when I speak about rules of signs, for an example, let's say you're having negative times positive, that is going to be what? Negative. And if you're having positive times negative, the answer is going to be negative. And then positive times positive, the answer will be positive. Positive. Then the one that is very important, negative times negative, that is going to be what? Positive. So it's very important. That's what is a grade 10 learner. You know these basics. Basically, these are basics which I teach grade 8, grade 9, as well as grade 10s, because they're very important with regards to your syllabus, so to say. So you must know that. Now let's continue further, still under the topic of algebra. So this one we just did number 5. Then if I were to do number 6, so this one it will comprise of numbers. Let's say they give you x plus 1, as well as 1, as well as x plus 2, x plus 2. So the first thing that one must do here, you say x times x, that is going to be what? That is going to be x squared, grade 10s. Then x times positive 2, that is plus 2x, right? Plus 2x. And then positive 1 times x, that is positive 1x, you write positive 1x. Then positive times positive, we all know that we're going to get positive based on the rules of signs, right? And then you say 2 times 1, that is going to be 2. Then this one, when you write it properly in a quadratic form, standard, that will be x squared. And then you add like terms. Like terms, these are terms which look alike, or these are terms which carry the same variable. So can you see that 2x plus 1x, that is going to be what? That is going to be positive 3x. And then here you can just say plus 2. If you want to write it properly, that will be what? That will be x squared plus 3x plus 2. So that's what actually you want to get, right? And then let's do the last one under this. On number 7, let's say they give you x plus 3. X plus 3 grade 10s. So that's what? X plus 2. So we are still going to use FOIL method. X times x, going to get x squared, right? X squared. Then you say x times 2, that is going to be positive 2x. Then you say positive 3 times x, that is going to be positive 3x. And then you say positive times positive is positive. Then you say 3 times 2, that is going to be 6. Do you see? Then if you write it properly in a quadratic form, that is going to be x squared. Then those terms in the middle, they're like terms. 2x plus 3x, that is going to be what? Positive 5x. And then you say plus 6. And then let me do the other last one here on the side of the space here. So this will consider it as number 8. So this one, x minus 8, x minus 1. X minus 8, as well as what? As well as x minus 1. So this one, basically what we're going to do, we're going to say x times x, that should be x squared. You write x squared. And then you say x times minus 1, that is minus 1x, you write minus 1x. And then negative 8 times x, that is going to be negative 8x. And then you say negative times negative is positive. Then 8 times 1, that is going to be 8. And then this one, when you write it properly, it will be what? It will be x squared minus 1 minus 9. Minus 1 minus 8, we all know that we're going to get negative 9x. And then that will be plus 8. So I know that most of you, you want to practice this. If you want to practice, you can also continue with the last one. Since I'm still having a bit of some space there. X plus 3. So this one, they're giving us x plus 3. As well as what? As well as x plus 10. So you're still going to be correct to use FOIL method. So we say x times x, that will be x squared great 10s. And then you say x times 10. X times x is x, but x times 10, that is positive 10x. Right, positive 10x. Then you say 3 times x, that is plus 3x. And then positive times positive, it's positive. 3 times 10, that is going to be 30. And then lastly, you add the like terms, then you write it in a standard form of a quadratic equation. So this one, you don't change it, you just write it as x squared, and then plus 10x plus 3x, that is going to be positive what? Positive 13x, because like terms, we add them. Then plus what? Plus 30. So this basically is what you're going to have. So it's very important, guys, you master this great terms, as this, they're going to help you guys. It's the one and only maths favorite teacher. Stay tuned for more.